Hi, my name is Morgan. I'll be talking about the Auxiliary Police Unit today. Auxiliary Police is a way for me to volunteer and give back to the community, and it's something I'm passionate about, so I'll just let you guys know what it's like. So imagine going 90 miles per hour down a highway, flashing lights, loud sirens, zigzagging through cars. Your heart's pumping and your adrenaline's flowing. You've never really experienced this in real life. You've seen the shows, you've watched all the movies, but this is real. It may not seem cool to others, but to you, this is just awesome. You spot the guy you've been looking for, and all the officers jump out. You have to stay in the car, but that's fine because you're sitting front row while witnessing your first arrest. You watch as the guy gets thrown onto the hood right in front of you, making eye contact as the cuffs lock around his wrist. It's a thrilling experience to anyone interested in law enforcement, and this was only my first ride along. Today, I'm going to tell you about what it's like to be an auxiliary police officer, the benefits of becoming an auxiliary police officer, and why and how I became an auxiliary police officer. Auxiliary police are law enforcement officers who are attached to a police department and provide support to the full-time sworn officers. Sworn officers are the normal police officer you would think about, the ones that work full-time as a police officer and carry a gun and can arrest people. In most cases, auxiliary police are just volunteers that serve out of a sense of civic duty, concern for the community, or in my case, just an interest to see more of the inner workings of a police department before committing to one. Auxiliary officers' duties and abilities are set individually by departments. I personally volunteer for a Sykesville Police Department, but other auxiliary duties may differ based on location. At Sykesville, we have an array of duties, including giving just general support to the sworn officers when needed, adding additional support to all town events, and supporting the police department in a state of emergency or in a natural disaster. By support, I mean that we are additional people to help out with what's needed in a small town like Sykesville. Essentially, we're more manpower. In addition to our specified duties, we have the opportunity to be assigned a managerial duty. For example, a budget manager, operations manager. I'm personally the training and records manager, so I really just handle all auxiliaries records of anyone being hired, fired, and working currently. And for training, I set up all our training sessions for auxiliaries, so CPR, first aid. We did OC spray training. I wasn't in charge of that because it's a little bit out of my expertise, but I was included in it. So any training I feel necessary is really what we get to do. So I'm sure you're wondering what it's really like to be an auxiliary officer. What do we really do? So on a normal day, you'll just be helping out, supporting a sworn officer on a ride along. So you could be doing traffic stops, canvassing a neighborhood, writing reports, proofreading reports, anything like that. On an event day where it's a town event, you'll be more independent. You'll be walking around by yourself or with a partner and kind of just keeping the crowd under control. You could be directing traffic, answering any questions any civilians have. That's mainly what you do on an event day. Now that you know what an auxiliary police officer is and what we do, I'll tell you the benefits of volunteering. So the main benefit I think auxiliary gives you is the ability to see what it's like to be a police officer without actually being a police officer. So you get to see how the department runs behind the scenes and not just from the movies and shows, which are most times false. This is like real life experience. The second most important benefit to becoming an auxiliary officer, especially for a smaller department, is making those connections with people like the chief of police, the sergeant, the corporal, important people that can later on help you get into a police department for like being a sworn police officer for your real job in the future. They can also give you awesome advice in where to go for a police officer. It's just the ability to talk to someone in the career right now really helps out if you're looking into law enforcement. In making these connections, you can even be offered a job at the department you're auxiliary for, which I fortunately was. I was offered a job when I'm 21 to become a full-time sworn officer for Sykesville because departments would rather hire someone they know and they can trust and they know that does a good job rather than someone off the street or from another department that they have no idea who they are. So another benefit of becoming an auxiliary officer is being able to volunteer and interact with your community. You get to meet business owners, city government officials, and even the mayor. And if none of that is interesting you about auxiliary, then it's really just a great resume booster for any department you choose. It shows the future department that you took that extra step and went the extra mile to go ahead and learn about a police department before committing. Now that we realize how beneficial volunteering with the police department is, I'll tell you how and why I did it. First, I started out as an intern at Sykesville Police. I got my internship through the Career and Tech Center. When I got my internship, I was a little iffy on whether I wanted it because how fun really could Sykesville be? It's a small town. But now if anyone asks me if I should accept, or if they should accept a small, boring town, I would absolutely say yes, because it's actually probably not as boring as you think. And you make stronger bonds and connections with the officers and the more important people there because it's more tight-knit, like a family. During my internship, I heard about auxiliary here and there, and then one day an officer in charge of auxiliary just asked if I'd like to join so that I wouldn't have to leave in May at the end of my internship. I filled out my application, got accepted, and I've been auxiliary ever since May of 2019. In conclusion, volunteering as an auxiliary police officer has many benefits. Volunteering for a police department allows for someone interested in law enforcement to see what it's really like to be a police officer without the commitment up to a 6-month academy and a career that you may not really like. You're also able to make connections with important people like the chief of police and the sergeant and corporal and all other duty officers who can later help you get in the department with a letter of recommendation, not to mention the ability to get great advice from someone in the career. Lastly, you get to just have fun doing and learning about something that you're passionate about and not having to wait until you're 21 and it's your livelihood. I'll leave you with something really cool but really painful, but also really rewarding that Sykesville allowed me to do. Getting OC sprayed in the face so that I can now legally carry OC spray on duty. So I'll attach the video in the link, but this is the OC spray. It's called Saber Red, and currently it's the most potent OC spray on the street. So I'll attach that video in the link. Thanks for watching, and if you have any questions, feel free to email me.